Welcome to episode 116 of The Endless Stream. I'm Aidan, and as usual, I'm joined by Brian and Kevin. We are three artists, illustrators, filmmakers, and all-round shit talkers, and each week we take some of the endless stream of content brought to you through Netflix, Amazon, Disney+, Spotify, YouTube, Hulu. Wherever you get your content, we take a chunk of it, we watch it, and we talk about it. I was away this week, so it's just the two lads. They talk about Across the Spider-Verse, they talk about The Flash, they talk about Indiana Jones, they talk about Nimona, they talk about Secret Invasion. They talk all the nerd news that's fit to chit-chat about. If you like what you hear, please consider heading over to iTunes or Spotify, rating, reviewing, liking, subscribing. All of those good things really help us out here at The Endless Stream. On top of that, you can go over to Instagram at The Endless Cast, where we put up clips and art to go with each show. And it's a great place to send us a message, get in touch, suggest something for us to watch. You can also send us an email at theendlesscast@gmail.com. All of that being said, let's get into the episode.
Well, this week's show, we have special guests Brian O'Sullivan and Kevin McNamara. Thanks for having me on the show, Brian.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me on the show.
You're welcome.
I see. I don't like special guest there now because that, I used to think that meant somebody was a big name on a TV show, but it actually
it doesn't at all. Yeah, and how do you get a special guest credit? It's weird.
Yeah, it has to do. It's basically like, when somebody's going to be in a series, but like kind of once off.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes that person sometimes might be a big name, but special guest doesn't mean they're a big name. It just means they're here and they're gone. And
yeah, it was
they're not part of the full.
I feel it was a special guest back in the Columbo days. Mm-hmm. you know that kind of way. Like they'd actually have like a recognizable face, potentially from another TV show or something. Special guest, but not or a singer or something, but not anymore. Special guest means nothing.
It usually means you're probably dead.
Oh,
probably means you're getting.
As in like you're getting killed off. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you say special guest on the episode,
we're going to die.
That. Yeah. Now, if you were to say guest starring, that's a different thing altogether. That's
okay. Let's take it from the top.
That's different again. So
welcome to this week.
Seeing as we're here at the top, though.
Yeah.
Seeing as it's just played, can we change the music to the show? I fucking hate it. I hate that too. I hate the Skype ringtone.
The Skype ringtone's awful.
Skype ringtone. It's aggressive. It's awful.
It is aggressive. Yeah. It's not playful.
Not playful. No, it's aggressive.
Not playful. I think they're trying to go for like.
Phone. You have a Skype call. Pick up the Skype. Pick up. Pick me up.
It has the same vibes as like an alarm clock. It's like it's irritating. It doesn't bode well.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't fill me with warmth.
Ill portent.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And and you don't like our show's theme tune.
It's like
it's all coming out. Episode 116.
Yeah. But this is
revelations.
I said I've always disliked it, but I said I'd wait a while because it took so long to pick something. And you can't just pick it and settle on it and then be changing it immediately. So I was like, I'll leave it a while. Maybe it'll grow on me. But it hasn't. I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
It's this kind of faux Guy Ritchie kind of jangly fucking bullshit. Don't like it.
What kind of medley would you like? How would you what would you deem appropriate?
I've been thinking about
what
this.
Would like.
I have actually.
Yeah, good. I'm happy.
But I was thinking with lyrics, and the problem is that the second I start singing the name of the show, I descended into like Simpsons territory. And every time I've thought about it, that's just right where my head goes. So I think lyrics maybe not the way to go.
No, I've been thinking about cutting some sound bites from the show of things that have been said in the last podcast in the death fashion. I'm going to say that because it's they do it, but other shows do it as well.
I don't listen to that, so I don't know what that sounds like.
I can play it for you after.
Cool.
But I think it personalizes it more than using.
Maybe I'll buy a synthesizer for my birthday and I'll make something.
Your birthday is in. Oh, actually, it's in 18 days from now. Or 19 days from now.
Depends on how you count the days.
Today being number one.
Number one.
We're going to include it.
Yeah. So is this one day?
Hang on.
Depends on how you count the days.
This is one day. This is one day. So hang on now. So if this is one day,
then the second is 2 days, and the third is 3 days. Is that how we're counting it? Yeah. Then mine is in 20 days.
You're the 20th?
Yes.
Well, my dad is
We have this conversation.
the 19th. Every year. Every year. It's terrible, isn't it? Ah, jeez. Every year.
I know when your dad's birthday is.
I know you do. It's terrible. Oh, hilarious. It is true, though. Terrible. Right. I'm making sure that is does not repeat. No, it repeats every
It does
year.
repeat. In perpetuity.
Yes. Yes.
For at least 1,000 years.
Oh, geez, that went in there as a 17th.
No.
I'm trying to get better at putting my friends' birthdays in the calendar. And I literally, because I know one of the lads' birthdays was recently and nobody acknowledged it. So I just called it out and asked him when his birthday was and he completely ignored the question.
Was that Aiden?
So, no, it wasn't. No, I know when Aiden's birthday is.
Hey, is your birthday this day? Not answering.
Yeah. I know when Aiden's birthday
Me
is.
too. Yeah, we know.
Mm-hmm.
We know Aiden.
We know. And this year.
There's no escape. This year you won't be
He'll
there.
He'll be home. No, he'll be home.
No, but you won't be there.
I won't be there.
Well, I mean, you might. Be
I won't.
You
I might be there on the day.
on the day, okay.
But I won't be there at the weekend. I'm at another boy's birthday.
Who has the same birthday as
Another
Aiden?
boy's
Another
birthday.
little boy. Another special boy.
Does he have the same birthday as
He
Aiden?
does. He do.
Another special boy. Yeah.
This is very like a radio show now where we just get into the birthday requests.
The birthday section. Yeah. I'm just going to duplicate that and put it in as Podge's birthday. I was actually thinking when you were talking about the medley for the show, we should get Podge to do something.
Yeah.
But it will probably take 10 years to get it.
He could just do the Game of Thrones theme tune on the cat keyboard.
Which I loved.
It was hilarious.
Loved. Oh my god, I got that was so
Every
funny.
so often it pops up in like a phone memory. And it's on my I can't find it if I look for it. But it's buried somewhere in my phone. Every once in a while it's like, we found this memory for you, and I see the cat keyboard straight away. I was like, oh, that's it. And then it's
it's so good. I have it somewhere as well.
Great stuff.
Great stuff. Well, he's a talented musician, isn't he? One of the country's finest, I believe.
One of.
One of.
So am I, though. I just never got an instrument. That's the thing.
Well, no, your voice is an instrument, though.
But there was I think it was an Onion headline. It was like world's greatest violinist dies at age 84 undiscovered or something like that.
Yeah. Well, never fulfill his true potential. Yeah,
They never picked up an instrument,
I feel like
so they never knew.
they never knew. We never knew. Imagine if that was the case.
I bet it
when
is
you
the
died,
case.
they actually told you.
A bunch of people.
Oh, it's like, yeah. Geez, it could be like I say it's the case for 99% of people. You have some sort of hidden talent you never, found. That's kind of bleak. Oh well.
But also hopeful, in a way. You can also say, I should just pick it up and just start because maybe it's me. But don't do things just to be good at them. Just do them. Do them
for fun,
for yourself and self-expression. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I try to tell that to the people not to the people I work with, but I've tried to say that to tattooers in the past, and lead balloons. But what was I going to say?
Awful bunch of people, aren't they?
Yeah, they're the worst. I hate when people say it's too late to do something. Mm-hmm. That really fucking bums me out. And if it's talking about fitness or health or learning a new thing or start drawing or like you can get good at anything at any time, and potentially if you're good enough you could change your fucking entire life and career or whatever. You can do it. Mm-hmm. I don't think it ever runs. I don't think it's ever really too late.
To start, sure. Absolutely. If you've got different goals and there might be different factors come into it, but that's no reason to not start or not try.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. If you could, sorry, I'll say that again so Aiden doesn't have to edit it out. Even though like Aiden's editing, I'm telling you, questionable.
Jesus Christ! I mean, it's like he's doing other things lately. It's kind of like
I know. I
question his commitment. Where
I haven't seen the episode.
Where is he?
I haven't even. To be honest, I don't even know if last week's episode went up yet.
Probably hasn't.
I haven't seen it. Which then I'm asking myself, oh, it's up now. That's a bit late, isn't it?
Kind of late.
Yesterday. That's
not Monday.
Deviates from our regular Monday
People
schedule.
like the Monday.
Yeah. People like the Monday, Brian. They actually
People
tell
ask
me
me all the
like
time.
the
It's
Monday.
like, where's my episode?
Yeah. Where's my Monday
Where's my
episode? If you could start something now that you haven't done before, but you've always been like, I'd love to do that, and you'd like, and say you could start it and be relatively, how would you say, relatively good at it? We'd say relatively competent. That's
So
the word
many
I'm looking
things.
for. Well, I don't have all day,
So many
but
things.
say 3.
Dance.
Dance. Okay, well, you're a good dancer. You got moves.
I'm a good dancer, but I want to dance.
You're slinky.
I want to dance.
Yeah, fair.
I want to.
What kind of dance would you like?
You know what? It's more the practice and the mobility and stuff that I want that goes with it. Mm-hmm. So ballet, let's say, kind of strength and stuff that goes with that, as opposed to like going to hip hop dancing classes or something. I don't mean like that.
Yeah, I know. No, I know. That's
ballet.
Mm-hmm.
Singing. I think.
Nah, you can already sing.
I can't really though.
You can.
And third one, sculpture or photography, I think.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Well, you were very good at the bits of sculpture we did together and stuff in college and things. I remember your little models. That sounded awful condescending, but you know what I mean.
your little toys.
Yeah, your little arts and crafts.
Trinkets.
Yeah. Fair. Yeah. Okay. I'd say, me personally, harmonica for sure.
Mm-hmm.
A martial art.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I should draw more, but that's like, I feel like that's a separate thing.
Yeah,
but like
I kind of wanted to say drawing.
That's a real
but
thing.
I do draw. I just need to draw more.
Yeah, just draw more. So martial arts, a martial art. Even though one of my friends was talking about starting jiu-jitsu lately, and he'd also be a beginner, so potentially I could go with him.
I think you'd like
grappling.
it. I think you'd like it.
Yeah,
it's rough though, man. It's
I'm not
rough, and you gotta wash your hands. Watch, not wash. Watch.
You see, now kind of that's put me off now instantly. Yeah. I'm gentle. Mm-hmm. And I rely on my hands heavily for work.
I think you'd be fine with the rough part.
Aren't in the May West.
Kind of, I say this without sounding like a knob.
You can say it.
It does kind of awaken something in you when you're doing that.
Something primal.
I don't know if primal is the way to go, but you do find your kind of fight, I think. Provided you're grappling with a good partner.
That's the thing, though.
They'll put you in an intense position, and the smart thing to do is just tap and kind of give up. But then afterwards,
I'm not about
to
get hurt.
I lost that. You kind of there's this. It's kind of the same as like stretching and yoga and lifting heavy weights, right? There's a pressure on your muscles and in your body, and that does have an effect in your brain. And once you start to learn technique and stuff, then you kind of it feels good. There's a kind of an addicting nature to it where you're like,
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I suppose it's just that whole thing of just physical stuff being good for you, your brain and your body. So yeah, martial arts, harmonica. Like I said, I would have said drawing or driving, but I'm working on those things anyways. But what would be the third thing? pick up and be good at? Well, you know, no, well, I said harmonica, so that's that. Irish language. That would be it. I would love that. You know, yeah. I got distracted by one of my own thoughts there. Now I can't remember what that thought was, which happens to me a lot. Something prime, or it's I get you. It's good for you. I was going to say something there and I can't remember now.
Related to the exercise part or the language part?
Can't remember. Oh, driving. So there's a Gran Turismo movie coming out. What the fuck?
Based on a true story as well, apparently.
True story.
Yeah, I think somebody did start driving after doing some Gran Turismo tournament or something. I guess, I don't know. I think they might be a pro driver now. I probably won't go see the film though.
No, I will definitely not go see the film.
Probably won't.
Not for me.
Not for B's or K's.
Not for B's or K's. For S's.
For sure.
For sure.
For sure.
I know an S that would love it.
I hope they go see it.
I hope they go see it.
I hope they enjoy it.
Yeah. Could be inspirational for them. They do a lot of serious virtual
I
racing.
think if Orlando Bloom wasn't in it, I might be inclined to check it out.
Oh, do you not like Orlando Bloom?
He's rubbish.
Okay, fair.
He's kind of a mark of a certain quality, you know?
Yeah, a little bit A minus.
Oh, I'd say B or C.
Really, at this stage, yeah. I haven't kept up to speed with his career, but David Harbour's in it.
David Harbour is in it, and he's very likable, but he's kind of, you know, he's TV. He's good in other stuff. I like him, but he wouldn't be a clear indicator for me that this is going to be
a good movie.
But
Interesting.
he's good. I do like him.
Speaking of movies, I did it.
You did it.
I did it. I did a double bill.
You did the multiversal double bill.
Multiverse double bill. I'm also tired of multiverses. Just to put that out there.
Sure.
Like everything's a multiverse now, and it's just like, like even like other comic books are going all multiversal on their stuff, and it's like, what do I like? It's like worlds collide. It's just like it's okay, but like maybe if it was like a bigger mashup of something different, you know. But like kind of, you know, flashes on flashes and Spider-Mans. Like I'm happy with this across the Spider-Verse in terms of it being a multiversal thing, but I just don't want to see any more of it. And Kang's on multiversal and stuff, you know. It's been a lot of it. Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Kang, The Flash now.
I don't want to get into the whole legal thing, but is Kang even going to go ahead?
I don't know. I know that trial has started, but I haven't kept up to it. I don't know.
I think starting in August.
On it. Okay, sorry.
But yeah, the legal team is hard at work. A lot of spin out there.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into all that because it's a lot of
like
speculation
yeah,
and ugliness. And
yeah. And to be honest, like even if you did want to get into it, I couldn't possibly add to it, man.
Because you were there and you can't talk about it.
I can't talk about it. I've signed an NDA. If I didn't, Jonathan would choke me out.
That's a different Jonathan.
Oh my God. Jonathan.
Different Jonathan. We didn't name surnames. Different Jonathan. But yeah, will that even go ahead now?
I don't know, and to be honest, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Was I excited for Kang? I was post Loki. Loki? Jesus, third time.
Lucky.
Chang. What was I saying? No. I wasn't as into it. After Ant-Man, because it's just like I've seen him kind of get his ass kicked now a handful of times, and it's just like kind of where I've said it before, but it's just like where are the stakes, you know? Like kind of, I liked him in Ant-Man, and I liked that you won the hammer or the shield, and I've beaten you so many times, and blah blah. And it's like that stuff is so foreboding and like ominous and all that kind of stuff. It's cool, but then it's just like they beat him. Thanos is good, and as a villain and stuff, but like I like, give us a real force to be reckoned with. Give us high stakes. Give I don't know who would be the villain if Kang doesn't go ahead.
Don't know.
And will they
Like
address it, or will
they
just move
announced
on?
the name of that film, which is what, it was at least 2 years away. That's definitely on. I mean, even with a writer's strike, that's probably
Marvel has
they've
pushed
pushed
all
all
of the
that
movies
stuff
out. Yeah,
But
yeah.
kind of getting back to the Flash and Spider-Verse. So I mean, a lesson right away from the Flash has to be that if you've got a problematic star, that as
Don't.
good as you might think your film is, it's dead on arrival,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, let's just preface this let's just preface this conversation with spoilers alert. If you haven't seen the movies, this will be spoiler heavy. It may as well.
Heavy.
Spoiler heavy. Let's go for it.
Yeah, but look, if you're
go on,
listening
Brian.
to us, you've probably already seen it, or you don't care to see it, and you're listening because we're going to talk about it. And this is how you digest those films. You couldn't be bothered seeing them, so you've come to us.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to go put on a t-shirt.
Okay, I'm gonna fill some dead air. It looks like he's wearing a t-shirt already. No, he's wearing a hoodie. I think it's a hoodie. We'll have to ask him when he gets back. Is it a hoodie? I'm looking at a screen now. In a room, there's a shoe rack behind where the microphone is set up. And should I even keep talking, because is Aiden going to call? And he's back. He's back. He's got a t-shirt.
I'm back.
He's back.
That's better.
Flash.
So
Dead on arrival. Kang Dynasty. Jonathan Majors involved in some legal stuff to do with being abusive. So
yes, there's been allegations made towards him, and whether these are to be founded or unfounded, we don't know. But
even so,
he's
been dropped by his PR company and things like
which
that.
is
Not a great sign. Even if it's proven that he didn't do what people are saying he did, he's kind of tainted. So you wonder, can they really go ahead with Kang, with him as Kang, playing the part of Kang, or do they change? Because they have the opportunity to change as well. They can say, well, look, it actually had nothing to do with him. It had to do with the writer's strike and blah, 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 blah.
That's what I was going to say. And they get
to part ways with him without, I mean, a lot of people would still see that as them hanging him, but they could say, no, not at all. It's just the writer's strike. That's the way it played out.
Yeah. We had to do a restructure because of the writer's strike, and obviously their movie's not being received as well.
Apparently the film Magazine Dreams that he had to come out in between, apparently he's excellent in it, and apparently it's very good.
What one?
It's called Magazine Dreams, and it's about a guy who, I think he wants to become a bodybuilder, basically.
Okay.
But it's kind of like how he goes down this dark path and becomes obsessive. I think that's what it's about. I haven't seen it. But apparently it's very good, and apparently he's very good in it. But some people were saying that he was very difficult on the set of that film. But now his lawyers are saying, no, he was method acting. Yeah. And like there's a difference between, just him not, being a prickly person and him being abusive. And which is it? Is he a disagreeable person, or is he a nightmare to work with?
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, look at Joss Whedon and Ellen DeGeneres.
Mm-hmm.
Like kind of bad attitudes, toxic attitudes, and stuff that at great toxic workspaces isn't tolerated either.
Yep.
But
there's a difference even between that. Like,
Yeah. Well, you've read more about these things, so
yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I don't even want to get into it, but here we are getting into it. So
let's not get
let's
into
get
it.
back to
Move
the
on
Flash.
to
I take it you didn't like it?
like kind of, I don't know, man. Like, I didn't hate it,
Right.
but like, kind of,
I almost walked out.
there's a lot. Fair,
Yeah.
fair. I'd maybe give it like a 5, and if I was being super generous, a 6. But like, I thought Supergirl was cool.
Supergirl was cool. Sasha Calle.
Her costume was class.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love the way the red kind
A
of
plus on the costume design and the
Yes.
and the execution of it, because very often these things look great in concept sketches, and then in the execution they're kind of ropey. Costume,
I think
superb.
I love
great
the
design.
I love the red shoulders kind of going into the cloak, like class or the cape.
Yep. And she was great.
The Flash costume, horrendous.
Yeah,
Horrendous. I never liked the man. It didn't look good. They should have just kept the kind of one from the Snyderverse, as much as I hate to say it.
in
because
one or
Snyderverse
two
is a load of
shots,
shite.
I actually think it looks okay, and it gives them
Okay.
those kind of Michael Turner proportions. Michael Turner's Flash. Do you remember what that looked
Yeah.
like? I think that's what they were going for. There's a couple of shots where he's standing and he's got the massive calf muscles and stuff.
Calves.
And
I've noticed
it
that.
looks like a Michael Turner drawing. The worst thing about it, I thought, was the helmet. The helmet was just too bulky around his face.
There were strong Green Lantern vibes.
Yeah. I thought in a couple of shots it looked okay, but for the most part, I'd agree with you. It was not good.
And just so much groin kind of stuff. I think it's like it just didn't look good in the groin. I know that sounds like a weird thing to say, but
No, it's a legit thing to say.
yeah, just look like the wrong type of bulky,
Wrong type of bulk, wrong groin bulk.
wrong groin bulk.
Grunk.
It just didn't look. It like grunk. Yeah, there's good grunk and there's bad grunk, but no, because in fairness, like kind of there was one aspect of it that like there's times where it looked really rubbery and not cool, and there's times where it looked really CGI and not cool.
Yep.
Like kind of 18-year-old him was a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
A lot of the times.
Massive.
Yeah, like kind of like you're 18, you're not a 4-year-old stuck in an adult's body.
Yeah.
I also, and I'm sure 99% of listeners will agree, people who are really hungry in movies always annoy me. I hate when people are dying for food in movies, because it doesn't matter how hungry you are. Do you ever really have you ever in your life grabbed something and been that Moorish with it?
No.
No, and you know me, I have some horrendous eating.
Well, maybe me with pizza.
But would you be like, and stuffing the whole slice of your mouth?
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, maybe.
No, you wouldn't.
But in a tidy way.
You're not a messy.
I'm not messy.
You're not messy. Yeah,
in a tidy way.
But
I'd grab the
in a tidy
slice,
way.
I'd fold the
You're a
tip
tidy boy.
in, and then I'd fold it into like a cone shape, and then I'd swallow it like a constrictor.
Okay, fair. Gross.
But tidy.
But
Gross but
tidy. Yeah.
Gritty.
Gross but tidy for sure. You got it. You
Gotta be gritty.
You gotta be clean. You gotta be gritty. You don't want no grunk, but you gotta be gritty. But see, these are the things that should be in the intro. But what was I gonna say to you?
The Grady Boys. That's the new name of the podcast.
The Grady
Grady
Boys.
Boys.
Yes.
Featuring
down
Gronk.
for it.
Aiden's Gronk.
Yeah. Aiden's uncomfortable grunk. But I was gonna say like the bat suits like around the nose of both men
Fucking
and
hell.
horrendous.
Awful.
What? Like, it's 2023. We've had dozens of bat suits. There's people making cosplay that works
I
and looks better than
couldn't
this
believe.
shit.
I was just staring at Affleck's face, trying to figure out like what's going on with his face. And then there's a close up, and I realized it's the nose on the cowl, and it is
Yeah, it goes under his mask or whatever.
Awful.
I have no idea. Under his nose. Sorry,
fucking
it's
unbelievable.
awful.
It looks like he had a
it
broken
wasn't-
nose, and he had to like wear a cowl to fit over the
Yeah,
like bandages across his face or something. Terrible, absolutely terrible.
Ganky.
How did Is that a different costume department that did Superwoman's costume? Like,
Well, I guess I don't know, because the Ben Affleck's one was did stem a little bit more from the Schneiderverse stuff, because it has all that kind of like, that stuff around the rib cage that comes up around the back. It's like that extra kind of like skeletal structure, like support, which I don't really like. I don't think it looks good.
It was a different costume though. Like the cowl was the only thing that looked
costume,
like it was from the Snyder verse.
Yeah.
The rest of it was new.
Yeah.
It just looked awkward.
It did, yeah. There was some stuff, like, kind of, to be honest, when okay, I had to say something for sure, because I do give the movie like a 5 or 6, because aspects of it, like, I like Michael Keaton, I like the Supergirl, didn't really like Ezra Miller too much.
I didn't.
There's times where I preferred older Ezra Miller than younger one, and Iris West wasn't really great either.
No.
But the baby shower scene at the start, and putting a baby in the microwave. Who, like, no one, like,
it's like something out of Looney Tunes. Like
there's some writer in that writer strike that shouldn't be there. Like, you're fucking lucky to have a job. You shouldn't be striking for nothing.
It's probably an AI wrote that part, maybe.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So that's kind of how quickly the film lost me, right?
I to be honest, I was literally, I agree, Brian. I was there and I was watching, and I was just like, if this is the way it's going, this is
bad.
Going to be really bad.
And right before the baby stuff. So I'll get into explaining that. So he's called off to an emergency. It's the opening scene in the film. And he gets into his pose, to take off, which just looked awful,
He's also not subtle about any of his...
No. So this is how quickly it lost me. He's kind of getting into his pose, which doesn't make sense because he's the Flash. So why does he have to slowly get into any pose? Because he's the Flash. His power is... But I'm getting into logics and stuff. It just makes no sense. But he looked awkward doing it. He gets into this sort of yoga bow and arrow pose, and it makes no sense.
Yeah.
But even then, I was still kind of on board. I was watching, going, okay, here we go. It's a Flash movie. Here we go.
He's in an awkward pose that reminds me of, the horoscopes where they're saying like these stars make a ram. This star makes the archer or a runner. It looks like that. It's like, that's a stretch.
It is a stretch. But he starts running, and I was like, oh, cool. But then, how they depict his speed is the background's moving like super fast around him. And then Ezra Miller is moving in real time, but he's pretending he's moving in slow motion. So he's just like putting his arms in front and behind him. And rather than have him do that at normal speed and film it in slow motion, he's just doing it in real time, but moving his arms as if he's moving in slow motion. And it looked terrible. And I was like, I'm out. I'm out. And then it gets worse. He goes to a hospital, and the hospital is collapsing for some reason. Like, that made no sense as well. I had no idea what was going on at the start. Just that Batman called him in for a team up to, like, I don't know. There's a hospital collapsing. There's the
clean up crew type of thing.
But like, what even were the villains' plans? Like, they were stealing a virus, but the hospital is collapsing as a result. Like, what? And Batman chases them on a motorbike, but he's the Flash. It's like, why isn't he just chasing? And anyway, all that aside,
that's a good point.
All that aside, a hospital is collapsing, and there's a maternity ward, and all the babies are in trolleys, and the building collapses, and all the babies come flying out of the window, and Flash has to run up the building and catch them. And even then, I was just like, this is super dumb, but maybe it'll be fun, and it's just not fun. Just every decision they make at that point is he
needs to eat to keep
he's
his energy
eating.
going.
So he's putting a burrito in the microwave, and he still hasn't saved a baby, and it's just super silly. The CGI on the babies looks fucking abominable. Like they're just these rubbery, waxy looking babies.
That's one of the things.
And he's got to save 10 of them, and it's just full of gags. And I kind of appreciate that they were trying to come at it in a fun way, but it's just terrible. He puts a baby in a microwave because
Yeah.
he doesn't turn it on,
And then
but he puts it in.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just nonsense.
It does thing at the end, but which is bizarre. But it's like what else was there? The I was gonna say, hang on now. I can't remember. Anyways, yeah. So kind of that, but yeah, that, and then the baby shower line was just like, oh Jesus, you know, so bizarre. And then what?
It's a lot of work
then?
to get to a joke, and a bunch of visual gags that just aren't worth it.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Sorry. Do you know then when he discovers he can travel through time and he can run in that thing and like he sees all the scenarios around him of his past and stuff, that all looked like shit.
Mm-hmm.
They were like video games look better than that nowadays. Like kind of like more indie video games have better CGI than that. Like none of those characters look good.
No.
And I think a lot of my gripes with this movie would be kind of the visual effects. And then the kind of the logic and some of the kind of the thoughts behind the speed stuff and the Flash. Like I enjoyed Supergirl and I enjoyed seeing Michael Keaton. You know? But yeah. And then like kind of yeah, well maybe I won't go into that just yet. But yeah, kind of the phasing through walls as well. He does that in the comic books, does he?
He does,
Yeah. He's the Flash, though. He could just run up the walls in the building, get through it. Like, you know, he's the Flash. He's basically like a teleporter.
Well, this is the problem anyway with, you know, with superpowers, in particular super speed. It's like, how do they work? You know?
Yeah.
I think at a base level, he's just supposed to be a human who can run faster than humans. But it got to the point then where his powers are time manipulation and things like that.
Yeah.
And that's where it loses a lot of people, because you're giving him godlike powers then. It's just like, well, why doesn't he just do this, or why doesn't he just do that?
Whereas Bruno, one of the lads I know, he said that DC is gods trying to be humans and Marvel is men trying to be gods. And it's kind of true. All of DC's characters are just overly powerful.
I don't know about that.
Agree with me and shut the fuck up.
No.
Fair, Ryan.
Batman.
He's way too smart and powerful.
Is he more smart and powerful than Wolverine?
Yes.
No.
Neither
of them should be as powerful as they are, based on their abilities. Fair. And yet, their power is based on their popularity. The more popular a character is, the more powerful they'll become. Stronger. So Batman can beat anybody because he sells books. You know, this gods and mans and that's just people talking about the thing, and it's waffle. It ignores the fact that there's just a writer somewhere going, I want Batman to do this because I think it would be cool and my story needs it. And that's why. These writers work on the same, like they go back and forth, you know, to say that Marvel is, you know, men trying to be gods and DC is this trying to be that. It's the same writers. They walk across the street and they work in a different place.
I know, but I think like archetype in a sense of like, you know, like Aquaman and Superman and all these people being like, you know, like kings and super beings and all this kind of stuff, like where
Black
you have
Panther.
the likes of Iron Man and Spider-Man and yeah, fair.
Silver Surfer, you know, Galactus, Thanos.
Yeah, fair. What else now with the Flash? I did enjoy seeing Michael Keaton for sure. Being Batman and stuff.
Honestly, I didn't care.
You didn't care.
Like he was fun, but I didn't care. It's like whatever.
I liked it, and when he kind
I'm
of
not saying I didn't
dies,
like it. I just kind of like.
Yeah. No, I did like it. That was kind of like, you know, kind of as much as I am getting tired with all this multiversal stuff. That was just one of the, and I'm like, it's not as if like I'm super enamored with Michael Keaton's Batman in the first place. However, I liked it. It was just good to see kind of, you know.
I think it's a kind of a waste of him as well, though, because, you know, why haven't they done a Batman Beyond yet? And they could have brought him back to do a Batman Beyond. That would have been great.
Yeah.
But
apparently they talked to Christian Bale about being in the movie, and he was, I think, but did someone say he was up for it? He was up for it, I think, but it just never happened.
I could see that.
I did. To be honest, I did like seeing Michael Keaton back in it and stuff like that. Like, and I thought his Batman was kind of cool, you know, better than the Ben Affleck Batman in that sense, you know. But what did you think of all the different multiple Supermans?
Stupid.
It's just the CGI.
Yeah.
CGI, but it's hilarious.
So at the end of the film, they glimpse all these other realities, and they're basically the past Warner Brothers DC films. So we see Christopher Reeve and is it Helen Slater? Is that her name?
Superwoman or Supergirl, yeah.
We see them, and then we see another reality where we see Nicolas Cage's Superman, which never came to be, but Tim Burton was supposed to direct a Superman with Nicolas Cage, and there's a costume test. So there's a photo of him in a wig and a Superman suit. So we see that Superman, but all these people are represented with some of the worst CGI. That we've seen ever. Not just
I was going to say
ever, but especially bad then, given that it's 2023.
Yeah.
And the director said, "Oh, it's supposed to look kind of strange." It's like bullshit. Strange is one thing.
Yeah, my brother said it was deliberate because it's meant to be from like Flash's point of view or something. He said,
but make it look good. You know.
Yeah.
There's something an art teacher said to me once, and I don't fully agree with it, but I see where they're coming from when they said it. I was like, if it looks wrong, it must be wrong. Right?
Fair.
So you could be life drawing, your anatomy might be wrong, but you might be making it work because of whatever you're doing. But if it looks wrong,
I 100% believe that.
If you particularly when it comes to representational art, you're drawing a thing in front of you. If it looks wrong,
I was going to say
it must be wrong.
Because there's sometimes we like one of the guys in work will be doing something and I'll be like, oh man, you should change this and this. And it's like, oh, but it was that way in the reference, and it's just like, oh yeah, I know it was that way in the reference.
Copied
but
it, and
does
it makes
that
sense,
look good?
Yeah, your brain is filling in the gap when you're looking at the reference. You've now made it a drawing, and it looks wrong. Change it. Same with this. It's like, okay, it's got to look strange because it's from Barry's perspective. Fine. But it looks wrong. It looks bad. Yeah. Change it. Come up with another solution.
I don't understand why it would look strange from Barry's perspective because he's going fast.
Yeah. Just, even if it's supposed to look strange, just make it look strange and right. You know? Don't make it look bad. It looks bad, so it must be bad.
So yeah, we saw a few Batmans. We saw Adam West Batman, right?
Mm-hmm.
We saw Christopher Reeves, we saw Nicolas Cage, we saw... Who else we see? I can't remember. I just saw this yesterday.
I'd kind of checked out really at that point. Okay. You know, it was at the end of the film.
One thing that kind of frustrated me though is when the young Flash kept on trying to repeat and save. But it's just like, you're going back at the very worst point. Go further back. You know, and then it was obvious then, like when he had the big awkward piece of metal sticking out of him. It's just like, oh, that's the other guy. Then.
Which was a nice idea.
I know, anyways,
just didn't really work.
I know, but it's alright. Kind of,
just didn't work.
Time multiverse stuff is like, it's exhausting,
and that's why Everything Everywhere All at Once is so great, because it has this bonkers logic, but it makes sense for the film. Have you seen that yet?
Yeah. Yes, of course. Yeah, I have. So that's it then. You know, it's like kind of like there was the reveal at the end where Barry obviously had messed up his own timeline. Mm-hmm. And there was a post-credit scene. Oh yeah, with Aquaman.
Yeah. I left before that.
Yeah, fair. But that's it. Like kind of like there's this one and done. No more Flash.
Yeah.
Do like kind of I don't think Ben Affleck was kind of Batman was great in it. You know.
I don't think he got enough to do.
Yeah. Some clunky dialogue as well.
I liked him as Batman though, I must say. I thought he was good.
Yeah, I liked him as Bruce Wayne for sure. You know. But again, kind of like he was, but I do think the biggest issue was like kind of like Zack Snyder and all that stuff, and kind of Ben Affleck being criminally underserved. Like I would have liked to have seen the directed and written and kind of star in Batman movie from Ben Affleck.
Yep.
I think that would have been cool. But I don't think I ever liked his costume.
I didn't love it. Didn't hate it. Needed refining. It worked in places.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, for the most part, it looked awkward. He was too bulky.
Yeah.
Same
with the groin area. The groin.
Groink.
Is that what we call it? Grunk? I can't remember now.
Groin bulk. I said grulk first, and then you said gronk.
Gruk.
Because you just like the word gronk.
Gruk. Gruk. Well, we said gruk. Gruk. I can't say that word.
It's difficult to say.
It's a horrible cup of tea. The Flash movie has spoiled
Who
my
made
cup
it?
of tea.
Did you make it?
I made it.
Okay.
Yeah. But,
Is it worse when you make
thinking
it?
about the Flash.
Someone else makes it.
No, generally, I think Emer makes better cups of tea than I do for myself. Occasionally, I make myself a good cup of tea, but rarely. Moving on from the Flash, because I'm sure you and Aidan have probably talked about it at length.
Nope, he hadn't seen it yet by the time I saw it.
Oh, okay. Fair. So I kind of thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs down.
Kind of. After talking to you, it's probably more of a thumbs down than a thumbs up that I felt yesterday because I'm very impressionable.
I'd probably give it a 5 also, but I would still tell people don't bother.
Yeah, no. To be honest, I said to my brother yesterday, I give it a 5 or a 6, and I'm giving it a 6 for some things were cool. It's just on a visual thing. Like if it was in a comic book, like I could totally see Daniel Warren Johnson.
I think
Supergirl comic that looks class.
I think comic book fans should check it out, and they probably already have.
Yeah.
For anybody else, don't bother.
Yeah.
Unlikely to love.
Yeah. And I think the special effects were a major letdown. And like the Flash, I'm sorry, but the Flash suits were bogus. Didn't really get it, man.
Especially when, if you were to take Supergirl's costume, remove the cape, make it all red, you're 90% on the way to a much better Flash costume.
Yeah. It was just too Green Lantern territory for me, man. Yeah, kind of like look, kind of as you said, would have been better to see Michael Keaton back as Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis, all that jazz. That would have been better served, or he would have been better served as that. Like
in Batman Beyond, Batman is old and retired, and this young kid comes in, and he becomes a new Batman, but he's given a sort of an sleek Iron Man Batman suit by old man Wayne. And it'd be cool to see Keaton come back to be that old Bruce Wayne rather than this one. He's kind of winking to the camera the whole time in this. I felt,
yeah, a little bit, yeah, 100%. It's like
which is
like
fine
like
and fun, but it was kind of a it was a waste.
He's talking to the fans, yeah. And when to be honest, when they first walked into Wayne Manor, and they kind of had their confrontation with him and stuff. I was just like, oh, that's Iron Man 2 territory. Mm-hmm. With he looked like a little bit like Mickey Rourke, with the hair and the beard. Obviously, but I was like, oh, I hope that doesn't last. I was like, well, obviously it doesn't, but I don't know. Yeah, like kind of, it's mediocre at best. Like some parts were awful, but to be honest, once I got by the baby shower scene, it was a bit better for me,
Also, I'm glad. I hope this being the end of that era means the end of the Wonder Woman theme tune, because when she showed up,
isn't it? Is it that one?
When she showed up at that opening sequence with the musical cue, I was just like, God, Jesus Christ! It's obnoxious. It's just it goes straight to 110. Like no build up. It's just this obnoxious violin piece. Yeah, it's just awful.
So do you think? Can we finally, for the love of God, close?
I hope so.
The door on the Snyderverse.
I hope so.
Is it over?
We see.
Are we free?
The fact that they put Momoa at the end.
Oh fuck! We have fucking Aquaman.
Aquaman's still coming. Maybe they won't even release it.
Hell.
Maybe they won't even bother. I've heard it's awful.
Maybe they
I've
won't
heard
bother.
is awful.
Well, are you surprised? The first one was horrendous.
I can see how the first one was successful though. Like it's not great.
Really?
Yeah, I liked the first one more than I liked the Flash.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't love it.
Different.
Didn't love it.
Yeah.
You know, still probably gave it a 5, maybe 6, but it was, you know, it was a big swing. But I have heard the sequel is awful. Awful. So, and you know, when you were hearing good things about the Flash, because apparently, you know, the Flash was testing really well with audiences, apparently, which is bonkers.
Oh, I can see why, because at the time there wasn't as much multiverse stuff going on. So I think that might have been a little bit fresher.
But it's just bad, though.
Yeah.
You know? Like the CG would have been unfinished, even. Maybe people assumed, oh, this is unfinished, and the CG will be better by the time it comes out. Maybe. I don't know.
The Supergirl stuff was class,
great.
though. In Russia, the Zod stuff. Even though Michael Shannon came back from that, he looked so 3D. But sure, it's only his face, really.
They probably try to make him look younger.
Yeah.
Because he has aged a bit. It came out, it was 10 years ago. Was Man of Steel 10 years ago?
Yeah. Oh, easily.
He's aged
easily,
a bit in 10 years. So they probably did de-age
I think
him.
Man of Steel is probably the best out of all those Snyderverse stuff.
I watched it recently, and like the stuff I like in it, but it's just like Snyder can't help himself sometimes with just some bad choices he makes. Same with Batman versus Superman. There's stuff in there that almost works, but
well, like to be honest, I rewatched Batman vs Superman like in the last couple of years, and I wasn't really into it. But like I like all the Batman stuff. Some of that stuff is really cool. But I do like the whole like, do you bleed? You will. That was cool. Like this stuff of that's cool. But then also that just speaks to the angsty, edgy 13-year-old in me.
Yeah.
You know. But I don't. To be honest, I think like Batman fans have a hard on for having a dark and edgy Batman. Which is like fair enough. I can understand that. But like one of the best Batmans ever is the Batman in the animated series.
yeah, by far.
Like you can toe the line. You can toe the
By
line
far.
like between the two of them.
It's
or
by
whatever.
far the best
But
one.
that's the best one. The best one. Best Joker, best Batman, in my opinion,
Hands down.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like kind of everybody talks about who's their favorite Joker, who's their favorite Batman, and it's just the animated series. Yeah.
And that's the thing. It manages to be dark, edgy, but he's also, you know, it's a cartoon character and doing cartoony stuff, and it's great.
And Bruce, and as a Bruce, he's kind of suave and fun, and yeah, it's a better duality between the two, I think.
We got a new Superman.
We got a new Superman and Lois Lane. Superman, I don't know who they are, but I know Lois Lane is Miss Maisie.
I'm pretty sure, because I watched The Politician, the Netflix show. I'm almost certain that we can go back through the chat. I'm pretty sure I sent a photo of that guy when he popped up on screen saying, "This dude's Clark Kent," because boy is he.
Boy, is he. Strong-jawed, swooping black hair. He is a fine cup of Kansas sweet tea, let me tell you.
Sure.
I don't know, Brian. But we were discussing this week then about this Superman Superman Legacy, is it called?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at looking at All Star Superman in the shop the other day. €30 odd. I don't think I will, but
You should.
maybe
good story.
to the time. I never read Superman. I don't think I've ever
good
read it. Aside from the old annual I had when I was a kid, I don't think I've ever read a
You
Superman
should.
book.
You'd love Superman. Superman's your jam. Oh, you'd love Superman.
No, he's not, man. No, I wouldn't.
Superman.
Oh, gross.
You would.
No,
You
no.
would.
I
You
wouldn't.
actually would.
I wouldn't.
You really would.
No. No, as far as Boy Scouts go.
Cut to 2 weeks when they're like, oh man, I love Superman. I get it.
No, I couldn't.
Get it.
I couldn't. I
Get
couldn't.
it.
I couldn't. There's something about it I don't like. There's something about Superman I don't like. I don't know what it is.
That's prejudice.
Something doesn't sit with me too well. It's probably his prejudice, yeah. Well, it's not because he's a refugee or an immigrant or anything, but he's just not from around here, you know. So yeah, we were talking about this during the week, and I said it, but like I know zero about it, and I haven't read All Star Superman, but I'd imagine they're going to go back to basics with this story.
I kind of don't want them to as well, though, because I feel like that's too close to 70 Superman. you know. And
Okay.
we've had 70 Superman, and we've had Superman Returns, which tried to be that again, and it didn't work. I really hope they don't.
But like, okay, if they don't do, I think if they don't do like a kind of like a like Kansas City Superman, they'll do like early days Metropolis maybe, and he'll. But basically, I think they're going to go back to the more golden age look.
Do you mean in terms of comics or in terms of film history?
Terms of comics,
Okay.
because like he's a young guy, like he has
Yep.
Smallville energy.
Mm-hmm.
So like kind of what any like kind of I wonder is he going to bulk up much? Does he need to bulk up nowadays?
He's
How it
already in
suits him to
good
like it?
shape.
I know nothing about the lad. What's his name?
David Cornswet.
Something like that. Yeah. I know he's from Philadelphia.
His dad wrote, or his granddad wrote the Choose Your Own Adventure books.
Like he created them. Oh, so he's
He's
from
from
Money
Money.
then. Nepo.
Yep. Not a Hollywood nepo, but he's come from a privileged background. I'm sure he's worked very hard, but you know, he went to Juilliard.
Yeah. Yeah, well, look, if you go to Juilliard, you got to have the chops.
You do,
You got to have the chops.
or the money.
No chops or the money.
He's good though. Like I the Politician is not a
I've
great
not seen
show.
this stuff, so
But check it out. Like it's not terrible. It's okay. It's okay. He's in it for a bit, so yeah.
fair.
Check it out. If anything, check it out.
Okay. So yeah, so he's gonna be Superman. Yeah, no, I think I kind of like what I think is they'll try and kind of move as far away as possible from the Snyderverse stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I think they're gonna go a little bit more golden age, a little bit more kind of like wholesome, carefree.
At the same time, though, we've had Suicide Squad by Gunn. So is it going to be, you know, is the same James Gunn that made Suicide Squad? Is he coming to Superman with that kind of energy?
Well, if you
Cards
watch
won't be as
Peacemaker
raw, but no.
You should watch Peacemaker. Are
hate
you
James
against
Gunn.
watching it?
Yeah, I hate James Gunn.
Did you watch Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
I hate James Gunn.
Are you not going to watch them?
I'll watch Guardians when it's on Disney. I won't bother going to the trouble of finding Peacemaker because I'd have to get something
I'll send you.
to watch it, like a Now TV subscription or something like that, which I'm not going to bother.
Yeah, I'll give you my one.
Kevin winked to the camera.
Right, so let's move on to Into the Spider-Verse.
Across
Spider-Verse is a good. Across the Spider-Verse. Across Spider-Verse is a good movie. So
Across the Spider-Verse is the sequel to Into
the Spider-Verse. And the next one is going to be Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Beyond.
My only criticism, for the most part, with this movie is the fact that it's to be continued.
Right. Did you know that going in?
No. I was very lucky, Brian. I was able to avoid any spoilers whatsoever about the Flash and Spider-Man.
But like they did reveal for Across the Spider-Verse that it was a part one, like a long time ago.
Yeah, fair. I obviously don't pay attention, which is terrible because we have a podcast about these things. But I actively avoid
Hey, look, if
them.
you tune me in
But,
out every once in a while, that's very understandable.
But I think my brain is great because I get spoilers and then I can't remember them, you know? Like I'm slowly forgetting the James Bond spoiler that... remember when Aiden ruined the entire James Bond franchise for me? I'm slowly forgetting those. So give it another year or two and I'll be able to watch them in complete ignorance.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. That's why if you have secrets, you can tell me. I'll genuinely forget.
If you want to email your secrets to Kevin, his email address is kevinsecrets@gmail.com. Send him your secrets.
Don't email them. I should set up an email if people want to send me.
I'm setting up that email right now as we speak.
You said that
kevinsecrets@gmail.com.
Yep. It's Kevin's secrets.
No, it's Kevin's secrets.
Oh, Kevin's secrets.
Yeah, because Kevin's secrets sound like they're your secrets.
They're my secrets.
So this is Kevin's
secrets,
secrets, as in secrets for Kevin.
Technically, I don't have secrets actually because everybody knows, or somebody at least knows.
Probably me, right?
Yeah, well, you know most of my things. Easily. Oh, well, yeah, all of my things, to be honest. But, I'm an open book, to be honest. Say most people know all of my things. But I'm terrible at them. The only things I won't keep are my own. But I was going to say, Into the Spider-Verse. Across the Spider-Verse, did you like it?
I did.
Yes, I liked it.
I did.
Yes, very, very
I
enjoyable.
enjoyed it.
Really, really great stuff.
It's impressive.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard like how they were working under such brutal conditions and they're doing 7-day weeks and all this kind of stuff. But you know what? It shows.
Mm-hmm.
As in, like, there's no excuse for it, but at least it wasn't a flop and looked bad. It's like they worked their asses off and they probably had terrible working conditions, but the final product was phenomenal. And the spot looked great and all that fucking, like, real, like, scary kind of future, like, you know the kind of the real sketchy stuff about the spot and everything.
All the kind of experimental animation.
So great, like, brilliant. Jesus, it's just like kind of, you don't want obviously the animation industry. Animation industry is already quite hard and shit and a tough world to navigate, and you don't want this set in a kind of bar in terms of just like, if you work this hard you can do something like this, but my god, it's certainly it's incredible looking. Like, it's one of those movies where I'm watching it, I am enjoying the storyline, but I'm also looking at the details.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's a real animator's film,
Yeah. And Gwen Stacy's papa, Broad Paul Newman.
Yeah.
He was the spit of Paul Newman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that, but like, I wonder was that intentional, because I was actually watching it going like, this guy, he looked great. He looked like a mixture between, is it Robbie? I can't think of his name of the actor. But yeah, he looked like Paul Newman. And there was a scene where he was like kind of depicted in a kind of like a pink and cool mint type of color, and it was just like, oh, it's so good, so beautiful.
Do you follow, I think it's Amy Thompson on Instagram?
Let me check.
They've shared some great production artwork, but they've particularly done like lots of just expression pages. So just, Miguel or Gwen Stacy's dad and just all their expressions and stuff. And
yeah,
some beautiful drawings, man. So nice.
I have seen a good bit of that kind of stuff online to a degree, but I've also had to kind of not.
Yes, yeah. Spoilers.
Yeah, so yeah, I didn't follow them. I follow them now, and yeah, it's great.
Yeah, can you see the Captain Stacy stuff?
Let me see.
It's like the 6th post, I think.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Yeah, he's very like less looking there, but
you can see it like on the 3rd slide where he's wearing the shirt and stuff, the flannel shirt. That's very Paul Newman.
Yeah,
Broad Paul Newman. Yeah.
Broad Paul Newman. Yeah. I'm just. I wondered if anybody. Brewman. God, we're on fire today.
Those are great drawings, aren't they?
Oh yeah, man, for sure.
Anybody listening, go to Amy Thompson, AMITHOMPSON, and they have some beautiful drawings. Really expressive.
Really
100%.
Nice. And if we're shouting out different creators,
no, just one.
Absolutely. Sanford Green. Check out Sanford Green.
Aidan, if you wouldn't mind bleeping that, please. Thanks.
Fair.
No, he's awesome as well.
Yeah. Massive fan of Sanford Green. Huge fan.
And Chris Franca did a lot of the costume work, I think, on this.
That's enough now, Brian.
Okay, sorry.
You're getting...
You're right.
You're being selfish.
You're right.
Yeah, so great. I really liked it. Yeah, like kind of like I didn't kind of see some stuff going the way it went. You know what I mean? Like, I really liked it. A really, really great movie. Yeah, can't complain. Incredible, a great cinema experience. I don't know if I said it, I did a double bill. I went to Flash in the morning, and then I went down the escalators, got my ticket for Spider-Man, and looped back up. It's actually perfect. Flash ended at like 1:30, 20 to 2, and Spider-Man was starting at 20 to 2. Or sorry, Spider-Man was starting at 2 o'clock.
Yeah. I think I've only
So
done a
perfect.
double bill twice, maybe. I can't even remember what it was I went to see. When did I twice?
I've done a few. I remember one years ago, an ex-girlfriend of mine, God bless her, because she wouldn't have been into it at all, got us tickets for like a kind of like a like if there was like Saw 5 coming out. We ended up watching like 4 of them in the cinema. It was brutal.
That does sound brutal.
Horrendous. Yeah. And that was in Cineworld years ago. But yeah, I haven't done that in a long
You watched
long time.
4 Saw films back to back.
Something crazy, man. And it was like a couple of nights in a row. Then I think we had to go back the next night to watch more and stuff.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was brutal. I think it was maybe 2 in a row, but it was like 2 in a row every night for like kind of 3 nights or 4 nights.
God.
Yeah, it's I remember kind of thinking like, I never want to hear someone scream again, which is wild. But which isn't great when you live in Dublin, in a city like Dublin. But there's lots of screaming for some reason. That's how people communicate. But have you been watching? And I'm sure you haven't. But have you been watching Secret Invasion?
I have.
Oh right. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. Aiden doesn't like it. He didn't like the first episode. I really liked the second episode. I thought the second episode was like real scary.
I don't dislike it. But I'm just I think I'm over a lot of this stuff. I think it all ended.
Superhero fatigue.
I don't even think it's fatigue. That's the thing. I still want more. But I think it all ended with Endgame. And they haven't given me a reason to get excited again.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's fatigue because I still love those stories and I still want to watch them. The fact that I'm still watching them at all.
Yeah,
I think if I was fatigued, I'd just be like, no interest.
You should watch Guardians of the Galaxy.
I won't like it. I don't like James
when it comes out. At least for the
I'm definitely going to watch it.
The High Evolutionary because he's great.
I'm definitely going to watch it.
But
and then I can definitively say I don't like it. So I do.
They should have.
Do
you know what they should have done? They should have ended Endgame with Endgame, right? Draw the line, or at least finish your whatever things you have. Like, don't necessarily start into new stuff, right? They should have just drawn a line there, and then what they should have done is the X-Men, and start fresh with a different Marvel property and build that up in a way for X amount of period,
Yeah.
And then do if you wanted to, you could do your, you could do something else. I don't know.
Yeah.
You could do the Fantastic Four.
Because what they've been trying to do is keep that thing rolling with diminishing returns.
Rolling.
When it would have made more sense to have the backup of another side of it, unrelated, set in the same universe.
Yeah.
By all means, set in the same universe.
Yeah.
But just see a
slight
different
crossovers,
perspective
gentle
and
crossovers.
stuff. Let that come to its own end, and then come back to these stories. Whereas now, like I said, they've just tried to keep this thing rolling, and I've even liked some of it. But like Eternals ended with a giant marble thing rising up out of the ocean, and nothing that came after has been about that. So their own films have lost their own connected thing, which was what differentiated it from everything else at the time. Was that I watched this thing, it's set in the same universe as that last thing I just watched. It's lost all sense of that.
Yeah.
And like when Miss Marvel is over, it doesn't really connect to anything that happened in She-Hulk or Hawkeye or this. And when this is over, this is like one of the biggest storylines that the comic books have. And when it's over, that'll be it. Yeah, it'll just have come and gone, and it won't really.
Scrolls or This so basically, right? I really enjoyed the first episode.
I'm not even
really,
disliking it. I'm watching it in a kind of disinterested way, you know.
Yeah.
And I can't even put my finger on. I don't think it's doing anything wrong necessarily. I think it's more the fact that I'm just like, whatever, you know.
So basically watching it kind of thinking like kind of if shit was like this was actually happening or was real, it would probably really will go down like this, you know, like they'd have their own kind of government body like deep within our systems, but they'd have chairs at tables, but they wouldn't be like the leaders of the world type of thing. Like, but they would have moved enough up in the last 30 years to kind of have chairs at tables, but they'd have their own secret kind of government body, you know. And then the guy kind of staging the coup and all that kind of stuff, and the way he did it, and like submit and I submit and change, and it's just like it's really. I thought it was really powerful espionage kind of.
It is good,
kind of like war politics stuff, and it's like it's because like you have the stuff going on in Russia, and it's just like this is the type of shit that actually fucking happens. This guy just caused an absolute devastation and like being like, yeah, we're going to war, you know. It's terrifying stuff. It's great.
Yeah, no, like this thing, I don't think it's really doing anything wrong. I think it's more the fact that it's telling a Winter Soldier level type story, and I'm not getting engaged with it, you know.
Yeah.
And I think I think it's because it's telling this big story, but to me, it doesn't feel like it's going to have any repercussions in. It's just a TV show. And when the TV show's done, it'll be the next TV show. Whereas before, whatever happened in one of these films, it was like, how is this going to affect the next thing?
Yeah.
How's the end of this going to affect that?
What are the
Whereas in this, it just feels more self-contained. And people have been saying for years that they should tell more self-contained stories. And I disagree with that completely because they're more disposable stories. It's harder to get it right. And even when you get it right, it's very forgettable. You know, a film comes along, comic book movie comes along.
I think self-contained is good, to be honest, right? But kind of like look at Werewolf by Night. I really enjoyed that, you know, and I enjoyed Moon Knight. But also, like, if you're going to do a self-contained story, like, follow through with it, you know. Moon Knight desperately needs another sequel or series. But are they going to do a sequel?
I think they will.
Season 2, yeah, I hope so. But the thing is though, Secret Invasion isn't self-contained. That's rooted deep into the MCU, you know. I do like it though.
I do like it.
So I didn't think I would.
Not, like I said, I think I'm just less interested in what they've been doing lately.
No, fair. Yeah, like, to be honest, I really enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but Ant-Man left me kind of with I liked it, I thought it was entertaining, but I didn't, like, there was, like, it's like, okay, so, like, we literally are back to where we were just before this. Like, there was no consequences, it had no effect in the MCU at all, except for the fact that Cassie Lang is now kind of a superhero, which is fine. Like, that's grand, you know. But that's the only takeaway from it. That's the only thing that kind of happened that kind of changed my perspective of the MCU, in the sense of like, oh, now we have the addition of Scott Lang's daughter, which is grand. But the Marvel definitely, I think, but they know they've hit a slump.
Yeah, they had to make content for Disney Plus.
Yeah, and if and Marvel and Disney have pulled out with Comic-Con this year. That's fine. Like, kind of, I know some people are like, oh geez, it's not gonna be as good. They're not there, and this is not there. I think like different people aren't there. Warner Brothers or Sony, I think, is still gonna be there, but like, who the fuck cares about Warner Brothers and Sony, in terms of their comic book properties? Spider-Man. But but like fucking Kraven the Hunter.
I know.
You know, and bloody Blue Beetle.
You're gonna go see both though, aren't you?
Oh yeah. Kraven the Hunter though, I don't know, because I didn't go see Morbius in the cinema.
Okay.
Have you watched Morbius? Holy fuck, man. That's wild. But Kraven gets lion blood in his system. Yeah.
Aaron Taylor Johnson looks like he's having fun.
Yeah, I mean, he's a cool dude anyways. Like, I like him. But yeah, we'll see, you know. open mind and all that jazz, but wouldn't be much hopeful in it, like, you know. They're still doing a Madam Web movie, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think it's
what's her
finished
name?
shooting. Everything.
What's the actor's name that's in it?
Dakota.
She's brilliant though. I think she's great.
She's good.
She's great in most stuff I've watched. I really like
that
her.
actress from Euphoria is in it too, I think.
Oh, Sydney.
Yeah. Not
Sydney
Zendaya.
Sweeney or something, I think. Yeah, maybe she is in it. Yeah. She's been in a few things as well. I watched...
she was in The Idol with The Weeknd. Apparently it's trash.
Yeah, I heard it's trash. Someone said it's pretty much just like softcore pornography, which, you know, kind of take that as you will if that's a criticism.
It's
or not.
genius.
They were criticizing it for it.
It's genius. I take back everything I said.
I do like The Weeknd, but I don't know if I can
Apparently
watch.
he's a nightmare.
Is he? That doesn't surprise me. Narcissists and egos and all that jazz. Yeah. Everybody's a nightmare. Just accept it.
I watched Dave. 2 seasons of Dave. Have you watched Dave?
Is that the Little Dicky show? No, I haven't. It's good. I love
it is good. I don't know how I feel about him, but at the same time, he's playing himself. So every negative thing he does about himself is something he's chosen to do. So that's kind of cool, I guess. I do like it. It's good. It's very similar in terms of cinematography and style to Atlanta. The show is very different. Completely different show. Very different. Even though it's set in the kind of hip-hop world, very different subject matter. Coming at it from very, very different angles. But there's a bit of crossover because it's somebody trying to break in. So there is some crossover, but they're concerned with very different things. And there's a great episode where he's on a celebrity dating app, or not celebrity necessarily, but just
another type.
And he matches with a Doja Cat, and they're messaging back and forth all day, kind of flirting and stuff, and they arrange a date, and you kind of see their different lives and how they're trying to juggle their different schedules and stuff, and in the build up to this date. And I won't spoil the end of it, but it's a really good episode. And she's really good.
Okay, well that's cool. I haven't. I like Little Dicky, and I haven't kind of.
It's a good show.
It hasn't been recommended to me, so I'll take your opinion.
There's some good stuff. Like there's a guy who is, I think he's his hype man in real life as well. He's a rapper, Gata. But I don't listen to Little Dicky, so maybe you know this stuff already. Are you familiar with Gata?
Listen to Little Dicky, yeah. I'm not familiar with Gata, but if you feature on his songs, I used to listen to a lot of Little Dicky back in the day.
He's in the show.
Hardest Pill to Swallow, great song.
He's in the show. He's playing a version of himself in it, and there's a really kind of good episode and powerful moment where it deals with his bipolar disorder, his diagnosis, and kind of a moment where he reveals his diagnosis to the rest of the people, and he's kind of he starts crying, and it's really genuine, kind of raw moment.
Okay.
It's really
I'll
nice.
check it out.
Check it out. Check out Dave. It won't be everybody's cup of tea, but
yeah, but you know, I like this music, so maybe. I watched Jury Duty on Aiden's recommendation. It was quite good.
Which one was that?
James Marsden is in it. Basically, it's a reality TV show where everybody is fake. The court, the jurors, the audience, everything except for one guy. And God bless him, because it gets sequented or whatever into a hotel for 3 weeks because of James Marsden. Kind of like he wants to get out of there, and like this guy thinks this is all real, and like James Marsden doesn't want to do jury duty. He doesn't want to get selected.
James Marsden thinks it's real.
Yes. No. James Marsden is in on it.
Right. Got it.
So they're all actors, right? Except James Marsden is actually playing himself.
Okay.
You know, and the guy is even in the waiting room with him.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's even in the waiting room and he's like, oh man, you were an X-Men. He was just like, yeah. And like, because somebody wanted to take a picture. It was all very well done, you know. It's really well done. And even Aiden loved it, you know. But he said to him like, oh, and what, you know, he's like, yeah, you know, I mean, a few things also since Sonic. And the man's like, the real guy's like, oh yeah, I heard that shit, right? And he's just like, oh well, like, then your man's like, I suppose it depends what you're going for. And he was just like, yeah, you know. And then he comes back, he's like, oh man, I watched Sonic last night. It was awesome, you know. But and there's even parts where James Marsden is trying to get him to run lines with him because he has to stick around. James Marsden has to stick around for this whole jury thing because he's a substitute juror, you know. So he has to be involved in case somebody has to leave, you know. And basically, like, he gets a script and he won't stop talking about the script, and he makes the guy run lines with him in his hotel room, and it's very good stuff. Like, but like the guy basically gets sequestered, yeah, with all these, with the jurors and in a hotel and stuff. And one of the jurors is kind of like, you know, he's a very odd character, and like kind of he would come across as someone maybe who's on the spectrum, you know. But the guy gets really enamored by him, and he's like, oh, I'm going to show this guy a Bug's Life because I think he really like it. So they're staying up at night time watching a Bug's Life together. It's phenomenal, man. It's very, very good. It's really, really bizarre, but it's really good. So only one guy doesn't know it's real. And there's even times where he's just like, whoa, like, this is like a reality TV show, you know, like, but he never cops it. It's very well done. And the guy that they're, you know, doing the bit on, he's super likable, you know, like he's so nice. It's great. It's a really good, fun show to watch. Really recommend it. Jury Duty. Very, very good. Amazon Prime.
Have you watched Deadlock?
Pardon?
Have you watched Deadlock?
No.
It's on Prime. I think it's set in Tasmania, possibly. It's an Australian show, possibly set in Tasmania, about a murder in a small town.
Okay.
And two women detectives investigating it. And it's kind of a comedy. It's kind of like if Fargo was set in Australia and was more overtly comedy. Fargo the film, not Fargo the TV show.
Yes. No, yeah.
It's good.
Okay, I can check it out.
It's only 8 episodes. 7 episodes in, so the last episode will be out next week, I think. Next Friday, maybe.
Okay, good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah, okay.
It's funny.
Great. I will.
It's about
I will check it out.
just a series of murders, mostly men.
Okay.
Small town, and yeah, it's good.
Well, that's a nice change for the books, to be
Isn't
fair.
it?
Yeah. Did you watch Black Mirror?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I liked most of it.
Quickly rundown of your. So episode 1, Jane is awful. Did you like it?
Joan is awful. I liked it.
Joan is awful. Okay, I felt it was the weakest out of the lot though.
Okay.
But I didn't finish the last one
Okay.
with the Demon 79 or whatever it's called. Lock
Henry.
Henry.
I liked it.
I thought it was good. I liked it. Yeah, I thought it was excellent. Beyond the Sea, I thought it was great.
I liked it.
Yeah, really, really good.
Maisie Day. Maisie Days.
Maisie Days. Now, which one was that?
Zazie Beats. Zazie Beats.
Is that a person?
She's the actress. She's the paparazzo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was really good.
I thought it was okay.
It was, yeah, but basically, see, what I liked about it was the kind of the turn.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just like I appreciate it being kind of that. You know, it's I like a good.
Yeah, don't spoil it.
Yeah, I like
a good type of that type of thing.
Yes, and it was refreshing to see it in Black Mirror, and it was a good departure from Black Mirror. This was at least Black Mirror.
Yeah,
since it's become a Netflix thing, this is kind of like the least like Black Mirror, but it's also refreshing because I thought Black Mirror is getting a little bit samey in the sense of just like, okay, it's technology and it's social media and it's all bad.
Yeah. Agree.
Agree to disagree, Brian.
No, we agree.
Whatever, Brian. You don't have to make it personal. Don't make it personal.
And the last one I liked as well.
I was enjoying it. I just didn't finish it.
I liked it.
Yep. Yeah. That's it. That's all I got.
Nimona came out yesterday.
What's Nimona?
Nimona, I thought it was going to be a series.
Nimona.
But it's a film. It's an animated film based on this book, which is great.
Okay, the artwork looks familiar.
By Noelle Stevenson, who in the credits for Nimona is now N.D. Stevenson. So I don't know if that was just a name change for production reasons or if they're going by ND now. But ND Stevenson, it was a webcomic first, and then it was collected into that graphic novel there, and it's really good. It's very funny. It's great stuff.
Pray tell, where did you consume it?
Webcomic first. I don't know how I found. I think actually I probably do. It probably came up on Imager first, and then I went to the. I think somebody posted maybe I'm assuming here, because I don't know how else I would have found a webcomic because I don't search webcomics. So
no, but where did you consume the movie?
Oh, Netflix. Yeah.
Netflix
Came out
I'll
yesterday.
check it out.
It's good.
Okay,
It's good. It's quite good. It gets a little dangerously to what I call Shrekky territory in places, which I don't like, but still better than Shrek. And stick with it.
Okay.
It's great.
okay. I bet.
Chloe Grace Moritz and Riz Ahmed, who were both good. I watched Four Lions actually, so Riz Ahmed, I saw him again recently.
Great
film.
Great movie. I was just telling Neiman about that yesterday.
It's just been added to Netflix as well. So
yes, yeah, it's a good movie, and like you kind of, if you hear like, oh, it's like extreme Islamics in England, and they're trying to do whatever, it's just like you kind of you'd have a certain perception of like, you know, maybe that's like not good taste, or it's like a little bit like you know, kind of like low bar or whatever. It's a very good movie. It's a very good.
It's directed
movie.
by Chris Morris behind Brass Eye.
Okay.
That Chris Morris.
Yeah, because I can't remember, but I remember kind of walking away from it, kind of feeling like you're kind of you're empathetic towards them.
Oh, completely. Yeah.
Yeah. I just can't. I can't remember, but it's like you know, you could kind of write it off as a kind of like a dark British humor type of, you know, kind of silly thing, but it's got heart. It's good.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
Good fun.
It's a great movie.
I
I watched Vengeance last night with Emer.
What's that?
You might be aware of it. It features Ashton Kutcher. He has a role. He's just the biggest actor off the top of my head. But let me just see. It's B.J. Novak,
Okay.
Boyd Holbrook, who you'd recognize from things,
Narcos.
and Ashton.
Logan. Sandman.
Yes. Exactly. That's him. It got a. I know we don't go off of things here, but it's an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes and 6.8 on IMDb. I know, and John Mayer's in it as well, briefly. But it's basically about a fella gets a phone call from a fella. Is just he's a bit of a, I would say, like man slut. So yeah, like he just doesn't have a good basically relationship with women. But he gets a phone call one night, anyways, that one of the women that he had been hooking up with had died, you know, from a very distraught brother. And he's just kind of, he doesn't even know what girl he's talking about, basically, you know. Yes, and he's also he's been a journalist for New Yorker, and he's aspiring to have a podcast. But yeah, so he basically travels to Texas and he meets the girl's mad family. The brother wants vengeance, you know. So the guy is just like, this would make a great podcast. And it's him talking to his producer back in New York. He's having this crazy experience in Texas. He meets all these characters. Ashton Kutcher's in it. It's very, very good, really good, and it's on Now TV. But right. I better get skedaddling. What's your plans for the day? Not that anybody knows.